Benson. As Benson is delivering that criticism, when your mother or father scolded you when you were 5 years old, and you didn't want to listen to that admonishment, you would oftentimes turn your head. He visibly looks like a little child here. He refuses to look at Benson and appears to be that child who can't take this difficult criticism. So he reacts weakly after that line is delivered. Very good. We have two of the variables. Does anyone want to guess another one? Let's go towards the back.
I think the fact that he really knew Kennedy, because while the younger man is talking, the older man, there's like a little time when he looks like you're lower than me. Like he's like, come on, I knew him. You come on, don't play that with me because I knew him, and you are not like him.
The fact that he makes the comparison to Kennedy specifically in the first place. When they were preparing Benson for the debate, and let me tell you, after you watch this clip, and if you were an expert about American politics, you'd be shocked about what I'm about to tell you. Lloyd Benson did not want to debate Dan Quayle, because Dan Quayle was a more effective one-line deliverer, that he was really snappy. And so Benson wanted to cancel this lecture. And earlier in the debate, we're about midway through the debate here, Quayle was probably winning this debate. And he had already received this question 3 times. This was the 4th time he received this question. And the only reason why he compared himself to Kennedy in the first place was because he was getting so tired of having to receive this negative question, presuming that he didn't have the experience to be Vice President of the United States. And so he got frustrated. And as we all know, and this is an important lesson for your own communication habits, we typically make mistakes, we typically lose our cool when we don't have the same amount of energy, or we are getting worn down by constant questioning. But if he doesn't compare himself to Kennedy in the first place, it would make Benson's line even more arrogant. Imagine if Benson wanted to deliver this line, and he had heard Quayle compare himself to Kennedy 2 weeks previously, and in the debate, Benson says, Senator, 2 weeks ago at one of your campaign speeches, I heard you compare yourself to John F. Kennedy. Well, I knew John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy was a friend of mine. Senator, you know John F. Kennedy. If he presents it in that form, number one, the audience probably doesn't applaud because that is out of sequence. But number two, it would appear to be gratuitous. It would be that punch while someone is already laying down on the ground. You all have 3 of the 5 variables. Congratulations. I've never had a collective group get them so quickly and so accurately. Now we need the 2 most difficult. And I typically say, if that there's someone in the audience that can list all 5 of these variables, that I will get down on one knee and I will ask you to quit whatever you are doing in your professional lives, and we will start a consulting company together, because we will make millions, if not billions, of dollars off your genius. I've trained about 20,000 rising leaders with this particular video and this particular question. And there have only been 3 people that have gotten every single variable correctly. Only 5 to 10% of the people in the room can get both variables 4 and 5. And 4 is really difficult because you have to have listened to something very small that I said as a hint. Does anybody want to take a guess for these really difficult variables?
En donde él dice, tengo más experiencia que muchos otros, hace una generalización de, no dice experiencia en relación a quién y quiénes son esos muchos. Okay,
repeat the question one more time.
Okay. Él dice en su frase, tengo más experiencia que muchos otros. Entonces le da la oportunidad de quiénes son esos muchos. ¿Y más experiencia en relación a qué? ¿O a quién?
This is a smart observation, but it's related to the comparison. It's related to the fact that he brings this up and that he's on the defensive. So you also could say to me, for instance, I saw the moderators, the people asking the question, as part of the audience reaction. So a lot of these variables will have smaller sub-variables, and that's an example connected to the variable of the comparison to Kennedy in the first place. Other guesses? Who has the microphone?
Maybe the fact that the timing, it was not so long ago that this happened, and he could like take it back from there.
I'm going to interrupt you here because you had the right answer, and then when you started explaining it, it was for the wrong reason. But it is the timing of when this criticism happens. As we know, in communication, timing is everything. You know there's a moment when your significant other is not going to be as receptive to your suggestions. When you determine that, you just wait until the mood changes. This happened right in the middle of the debate. And the reason why this is important, I was at the World Cup in Russia. I'm in Luzhniki Stadium on July 15th. The initial crowd noise was really loud. People were really excited to watch France play Croatia. If there's a goal that's scored in the first 11 seconds, the crowd noise increases, but not by too much because the initial crowd noise was really loud. But if the game is scoreless for 40 minutes, that initial crowd noise, which is really loud, gets softer because people can't stay excited with the same loudness for 40 consecutive minutes without a big event occurring. So when a goal is scored in a scoreless soccer game, 40 minutes in, the differential is so much greater. What I'm trying to say is because it happened in the middle of debate where there wasn't really a victor at this moment, the crowd was looking to explode. They were looking to get excited about something. They were looking to clap. But another reason why the timing is important is for the next 40 minutes, whenever Quayle gives an answer, he'll look like a child. So when he talks about education policy, they don't take him as seriously. When he talks about foreign policy, they don't take him as seriously. If it had happened in the beginning, he would have had 90 minutes to rehabilitate. He would have had more time to recover, and so that impression wouldn't have been as strong. If it happened at the end, the aftershock, the after effect of his childlike appearance wouldn't have had the same impact as it did here. We have one more variable. And in the interest of time, I want to play the video again. How many of you would like to watch the video again knowing the question? This is the main contribution that I want to have for you today. If anything, I want you to leave this session obsessed with observation, trying to see what other people don't see. You can't be an effective communicator unless you are an effective observer of human communication. Let's watch this video again, and then you can try to see if you see it now the second time around.
Experience than many others that sought the office of Vice President of this country. I have as much experience in the Congress as Jack Kennedy did when he sought the presidency. I will be prepared to deal with the people in the Bush administration if that unfortunate event would ever occur.
Senator Benson.
Senator, I served with Jack Kennedy. I knew Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine. Senator, you're no Jack Kennedy.
Now, hopefully, the second time watching this, you picked up on things you missed the first time. This is my argument with my undergraduate students who are addicted to their phones, who think that they can neurologically multitask. And I say to them, you've watched this video 2 times and you still can't tell me the 5th variable. That you have to have complete absorption. What do we think it is?
I think he was blinking too much. Too many times it seems he's about to cry, to me.
And that is a subvariable to his reaction. He looks like he got punched in the face. He looks like he's defeated. And we can see that visibly. It's not just that he looks like he's a child. It looks like this line really got to him. It really affected him.
Yo digo que están peleando para ayudar al país o por el poder. Esa es mi pregunta.
I don't know, I'm not a psychologist. I go to a church at Georgetown where John Kerry, Joe Biden, Dick Durbin, Pat Leahy, these are all people who have run for president, they're all senators. And when they start praying, I can't tell whether or not they believe in God or it's because it's for appearance purposes. We never know what's inside somebody's head.
Here.
The age of the audience are the same age that he is, older than he is.
So the age of the audience could have a similar impact on why they exploded. Just like the timing of the moment, it could be the composition of the audience. Let me give you the answer.
I can get
As I see I'm losing some time.
the camera.
It's the camera angle.
Exacto. Es lo que
The
ya lo dijo,
camera
ya lo
angle.
dijo. Eso era.
Let's do an
La
experiment.
cámara.
We understand that the worry that Lloyd Benson had was that he was going to come across as too arrogant. And one of the speech coaches who helped Benson prepare for this debate also helped Joe Biden prepare against Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin did not have a reputation for knowing all of the intricate details of policy, just to be charitable. And this speech coach said, Sarah Palin will make her own mistakes. What you don't want to do is unduly criticize her when she's made those mistakes. And they said the same thing to Benson. Quayle won't know everything. And when he doesn't know everything, don't start pointing at him and making fun of him. Now, when you say you're no John F. Kennedy, that's condescending in addition to being rude. I'm going to play a game. You will be my 80 million people at home, my 80 million American voters. And I want you to tell me in which one of these camera angles you think I am more arrogant and rude. So I will not be turning my back. It's just going to be the camera angle that you see at home as an American voter. Camera angle number 1. You're a jerk. Sorry. Camera angle number 2. You're a jerk. In which one of those camera angles do I come off as being more arrogant? Uno. You can see my lips. It makes it more abrupt. It makes it more intense. When Lloyd Benson said, you're no John F. Kennedy, which is his you're a jerk, his rudeness, you never saw his lips. When he establishes that he knew John F. Kennedy, that John F. Kennedy was a friend of his, you see his lips. But when he says, you're no John F. Kennedy, you don't see his lips. If you don't believe me, let's go back to the videotape.
So, the presidency. I will be prepared to deal with the people in the Bush administration if that unfortunate event would ever occur.
Senator Benson?
Senator, I served with Jack Kennedy. I knew Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine. Senator, you're no Jack Kennedy.
That's why I would get on one knee if you got all 5. That you have that hyper focus and attention. If you were my student, or if you were my client and I was training you to communicate at the highest levels, we would have an hour session twice a week, and I'd play 5 or 6 videos like this to work on your observation muscles. And you'd be surprised. Over just a short period of time, you can improve drastically. And I wouldn't be surprised in this audience that just watching this video a second time with a different type of focus already has improved your ability to see what is going on. I have time for one more video. I'm going to take you back to the year 2000 when George W. Bush was debating against Al Gore. If you forget who Al Gore is,